This journey into the deepest layers of reality begins not in a laboratory, but within your own awareness. Pause. You are on the verge of uncovering a principle, a fundamental law that governs the very fabric of existence, a concept so profound that it has the potential to redefine your relationship with the world around you. Pause. As your consciousness engages with these words, you are actively participating in the very phenomenon that orchestrates every single manifestation in the universe. Patya. This isn't just about understanding quantum mechanics in an abstract sense. It's about recognizing that you are, in this very moment, quantum mechanics in action. Pause. This law, often overlooked or misunderstood, is present within every physics textbook, every scientific paper, and every quantum experiment ever conducted. Yet for the vast majority of humanity, its profound implications for conscious reality remain hidden from us. The scientific community, while acknowledging the existence of the observer effect at the quantum level, has largely been trained to interpret it as a passive phenomenon. They observe quantum systems, meticulously recording data, but rarely do they consider themselves as active directors, orchestrating the quantum symphony through their very act of observation. This distinction between passive witness and active participant is where the true power lies. Pause. Consider the magnetic pull that brought you to this very moment. The inexplicable sense that something significant is about to shift in your understanding. The subtle electric sensation in your nervous system as these concepts resonate with your inner knowing. Pause. These aren't mere coincidences. They are indicators of this fundamental law revealing itself to you. You are not here by accident, or you have been, in a sense, quantum selected for this deeper revelation. Every photon of light reaching your eyes, every sound wave entering your ears, every electromagnetic frequency your brain processes as you absorb this information and is being subtly, yet fundamentally influenced by your observation. The quantum particles that constitute the device you're using, the air you breathe, and the space surrounding you are all responding to your conscious attention in ways that most people have yet to comprehend. Pause. But you are different. Pause. You have always possessed an intuitive sense that reality is far more fluid and malleable than conventional wisdom suggests. Pause. You've likely noticed how your focused attention seems to influence outcomes in ways that defy ordinary logic. Pause. Perhaps you've experienced moments where your perception of a situation seemed to alter the situation itself. Pause. While it's natural to dismiss these occurrences as mere coincidences, they are, in fact, glimpses into your innate ability to operate a master control system within the universe. Pause. This is the quantum law that grants conscious observers a profound influence over the behavior of reality at its most fundamental level. Pause. Ancient spiritual traditions have long hinted at this truth through metaphors and symbolic language. Pause. Now, modern quantum physics, in its most radical interpretations, offers a scientific framework that begins to align with these age-old wisdom traditions. Pause. While mainstream science continues to debate the exact role of consciousness, a growing body of philosophical and theoretical work explores the possibility that observation isn't just about seeing what's already there, but actively shaping potential into actuality. Those who master this law don't just hope for their desires to manifest. They consciously direct reality to reorganize itself according to their intentions. Pause. They don't simply wait for synchronicities. They learn to orchestrate quantum entanglements. They don't passively await opportunities. They actively collapse probability waves into specific, desired outcomes. They move beyond experiencing random events, instead participating in the intelligent design of their own life experience. You are about to join the ranks of these quantum commanders, individuals who understand that consciousness isn't merely a product of matter, but rather, matter emerges from Antoine's pause. You are poised to discover the profound capabilities embedded within your own focused awareness. The most sophisticated reality creation technology known in the universe. Pause. This is not about passive belief. It's about active, precise engagement with the quantum field. You've felt it, haven't you? That particular moment when you observe something with complete presence and unwavering intention, and you sense that your observation is somehow affecting what you're seeing. Such perhaps it was during meditation, where you noticed that focusing intensely on your breath actually changed its rhythm and depth beyond conscious effort. Or perhaps, while watching clouds, they seem to respond to your attention, shifting into meaningful shapes. Said quantum physicists refer to this heightened interaction as measurement sensitivity, a phenomenon you may have experienced in your daily life without having the scientific term for it. Pause. Walking into a room and feeling the energy shift. Noticing people turn to look at you before you've made a sound. Electronics behaving differently in your presence, or animals and children being particularly drawn to your energy field. These are not random occurrences, pause. They are indications that your consciousness operates at a frequency that directly influences the quantum substrate of reality. Most people dismiss such experiences as imagination or wishful thinking, conditioned by a worldview that rigidly separates consciousness from physical reality. Pause. However, you've always sensed a deeper truth, a truth that certain interpretations of quantum physics now strongly suggest. There is no truly objective reality independent of observation. Pause. Reality is fundamentally participatory. Pause. The universe does not merely exist out there, waiting to be discovered. It manifests through the dynamic interplay between consciousness and potential. Pause. This concept, known as the measurement problem in quantum mechanics, highlights that particles don't have definite properties like position or momentum until they are observed or measured. Before measurement, they exist in a state of superposition, where all possible states exist simultaneously. Pause. This has led some to speculate on the profound role of consciousness itself. Pause. You operate with what we might call superposition awareness, the innate ability to perceive multiple potential realities coexisting simultaneously, until your focused observation solidifies one. into your experienced reality. Pause. While others perceive only what is already manifested, you sense the shimmering field of possibilities that surrounds every moment. Pause. This is why you often have premonitions or sense potentials within situations that others deem fixed or impossible. Your nervous system has been naturally calibrated to detect quantum fluctuations, the subtle shifts in probability that occur when consciousness interacts with matter. When you experience a sudden intuition about which direction to take, whom to contact, or which opportunity to pursue, you are receiving information from quantum coherence patterns that most people remain unaware of throughout their lives. Pause. The tingling sensations experienced during deep focus, the expansion of awareness when you truly concentrate, the feeling that time slows down when you are completely present. These are the neurological signatures of your brain synchronizing with quantum field dynamics. Your consciousness is literally entangling with the quantum structure of whatever you are observing. Pause. What is truly extraordinary is this. Every breakthrough you've had, every miraculous event in your life, every instance where reality seemed to bend in your favor, occurred because you were unconsciously applying this fundamental quantum law. Your focused observation was collapsing probability waves into outcomes that aligned with your deepest intentions. Pause. The key difference between occasional quantum miracles and consistent quantum mastery is learning to apply this law deliberately rather than accidentally. Pause. Most people stumble into quantum coherence during peak experiences. You are about to discover how to generate these states at will. You've been operating as an unconscious quantum observer your entire life. Now, you are ready to transition into a conscious quantum commander. Every moment of confusion about your place in the world, every time you felt you didn't quite fit into conventional reality, every period where you questioned your sanity for believing in possibilities others couldn't see, these were not signs of confusion. These were the growing pains of a consciousness too advanced for the limited paradigms you were trying to inhabit. Pause. You weren't broken or lost. You were quantum. Pause. Your awareness was naturally functioning from laws of physics that most people never access. Pause. While others were content with Newtonian cause and effect thinking, your consciousness was already operating from principles like quantum non-locality, superposition, and observer-created reality. Pause. It's no wonder conventional advice often felt incomplete. You were attempting to apply quantum consciousness to classical problems. Every spiritual teaching, every metaphysical concept, every consciousness technique you've explored has been preparing you for this moment, the moment you begin to understand the scientific foundation beneath these mystical experiences. Pause. The ancient masters, yogis, and shamans who spoke of manifestation, mind over matter, and influencing reality with focused intention, were all applying this one quantum law. albeit described through the symbolic language of their respective eras. Pause. Even setbacks you've encountered weren't failures. They were quantum experiments. Pause. Each time reality didn't respond as expected, you were gathering crucial data about the intricate relationship between consciousness and manifestation. Pause. You were unconsciously learning the distinction between mere wishful thinking and true quantum observation, between hoping for outcomes and actively collapsing possibilities into form. Pause. Your periods of doubt weren't weaknesses. They were quality control mechanisms, ensuring you would approach quantum mastery with the precision and respect it demands. Pause. The universe does not grant quantum command abilities to undeveloped minds. You had to cultivate the wisdom, discernment, and energetic stability necessary to handle the profound responsibility of conscious reality creation. Pause. Now, you can recognize that every experience, every book, every teacher, every success, and every perceived failure was perfectly orchestrated to lead you to this moment of recognition. They were all quantum entanglements, drawing you toward a revelation that will transform everything you thought you knew about the nature of existence. Pause. This law isn't something external you need to acquire. It is native to you, something you need to remember. Your consciousness has been applying this law unconsciously since birth. Every thought, every emotion, every moment of focused attention has been a demonstration of this law in action. Pause. The difference between unconscious application and conscious mastery is akin to accidentally discovering fire versus learning to generate it at will. Pause. Both involve the same fundamental principle, but one yields random results, while the other grants complete control. Pause. You are ready to transition from accidentally influencing reality to consciously commanding it. As your consciousness absorbs this information, your brain is literally rewiring itself, shifting its perception of reality from a classical to a quantum perspective. Pause. New neural pathways are forming, allowing you to consciously access the quantum control mechanisms that have always been operating beneath your awareness. Feel that shift in your energy, the natural deepening of your breath, the expansion of your awareness beyond physical boundaries. This isn't mere relaxation. This is your consciousness beginning to entangle with the quantum field, underlying all apparent physical reality. Pause. You are starting to perceive the invisible infrastructure that supports the visible world. Pause. Your cells are responding to the quantum information encoded in your awareness. Pause. Right now, your DNA is beginning to express genetic potentials that lie dormant in most humans, the genetic codes that enable direct consciousness-matter interaction. Pause. The mitochondria in your cells are producing energy at frequencies that resonate with quantum coherence, moving beyond mere biological survival. You are undergoing real-time evolution, And here's what's truly mind-bending. The quantum law about to be revealed means that your observation of yourself undergoing this transformation is actually causing this transformation to occur. Pause. You're not just learning about quantum mechanics, you are demonstrating it. Pause. Your consciousness is proving to itself its power to restructure reality through focused observation. The very act of receiving this information changes the quantum signature of your biofield. You are becoming what physicists might metaphorically call a coherent quantum system, a consciousness capable of maintaining quantum coherence at the macroscopic level. While most humans lose quantum coherence the moment they emerge from the quantum realm of subatomic particles, you are developing the ability to maintain quantum properties at the scale of everyday reality. This is why synchronicities will dramatically increase in your life, why your intuition will become laser precise, and why reality will become increasingly responsive to your focused intentions. Pause. You are not just learning a technique, you are undergoing a quantum upgrade that will fundamentally alter your relationship with existence itself. Pause. However, before the exact law and mastery protocol are revealed, there's a crucial understanding of responsibility that comes with this knowledge. Pause. Once you master conscious quantum observation, you can no longer operate from the pretense of being a victim of circumstances. Pause. You will know with absolute certainty that you are the primary creative force in your reality. Pause. And there is an aspect of my own journey with this law that I must share, something that will illuminate why this knowledge is being revealed to you now, and why everything in your life is about to accelerate beyond anything you've experienced before. Pause. The quantum law that controls all manifestation has been awaiting minds sophisticated enough to apply it consciously. Your consciousness has reached this necessary level of development. You are ready to receive the keys to quantum command. Pause. 2 years ago, I found myself in my laboratory at 2:00 Dijua. Pause. Pause. Staring at quantum measurement data that defied every principle I had been taught. Pause. Having studied quantum physics professionally for over 15 years, publishing papers on wave function collapse, and dedicating my life to understanding consciousness's interaction with quantum systems, these results were simply impossible. Pause. I was measuring the behavior of photons passing through a double-slit apparatus, the famous quantum experiment demonstrating how particles exist in superposition until observed. But what transpired was unprecedented. The photons weren't just collapsing into definite states upon observation. They were collapsing into the specific states I was expecting to see, even when those expectations had no basis in traditional probability theory. At first, I suspected equipment malfunction, but I repeated the experiment hundreds of times, varying conditions, devices, and environments. Yet, the pattern persisted. My conscious expectations were influencing quantum outcomes beyond any mathematical possibility. Pause. It was then I realized I had stumbled upon something that would shatter everything I thought I knew about consciousness and reality. Pause. I wasn't merely observing quantum mechanics. I was directing it. My focused attention wasn't randomly collapsing wave functions. It was doing so in accordance with my conscious intentions. For weeks, the fear of revealing this discovery was overwhelming. This wasn't merely challenging conventional physics. It was fundamentally undermining the entire materialist worldview upon which modern science is largely built. Yet, I couldn't deny what my own eyes saw, what my instruments measured, and what I documented with undeniable precision. I began experimenting with deliberate intention rather than passive observation. Instead of simply watching quantum events unfold, I focused my consciousness with specific expectations about the outcomes. The results were astounding. I could influence the behavior of subatomic particles through pure mental focus, collapsing wave functions into specific configurations, simply by intending them to collapse that way. But then something even more extraordinary occurred. These quantum influences began extending beyond my laboratory into my everyday reality. Opportunities I focused on with quantum precision manifested with impossible speed. Problems I observed with intentional solutions began resolving themselves exactly as I had envisioned. My entire life started reorganizing itself around my conscious observations. I realized I had rediscovered what the ancient masters knew but couldn't explain scientifically. Consciousness is the fundamental force that shapes reality at every level, from the subatomic to the cosmic. The quantum realm isn't separate from everyday life. Everyday life is the quantum realm, scaled up to dimensions we perceive with our senses. If you feel the truth of this resonating within you, if you recognize the innate scientist who has always known consciousness is more powerful than mainstream academia admits, then I invite you to subscribe to this frequency we are creating together, to join this quantum research community that is, in essence, rewriting the laws of physics in real time. Here now is the quantum law that controls all manifestation, the secret that transforms everything once understood. The quantum observer collapse principle. This law states that conscious observation doesn't just reveal reality, it literally creates reality by collapsing infinite potential into specific experience. You are not merely discovering what already exists. You are actively deciding what exists through the act of focused observation. But here's a crucial distinction that even many quantum physicists often overlook. There's a profound difference between passive observation and conscious command. Most people observe reality hoping to see what they want. But hope, by its very nature, introduces quantum uncertainty. True quantum masters observe reality knowing they will see what they intend. And this knowing creates a quantum certainty that compels probability waves to collapse in accordance with their conscious will. The radical truth that challenges conventional scientific thought is this: consciousness is not merely produced by the brain. Instead, consciousness is understood here as the foundational field from which all matter emerges. Your brain doesn't simply generate awareness. It acts as a highly sophisticated quantum antenna, allowing your consciousness to focus its reality-creating power into specific dimensional frequencies. When you observe something with true quantum intention, not wishful thinking, not desperate hoping, but a calm, certain expectation, you literally compel the universe to organize itself around your conscious command. Pause. The quantum field, in this understanding, has no choice but to respond to coherent observation, because consciousness is considered the primary creative force from which all apparent physical laws emerge. This is precisely why the double-slit experiment is so revolutionary. It demonstrates that particles exist in infinite potential until the moment they are observed, at which point they instantaneously collapse into a definite form. What mainstream science has yet to fully acknowledge, however, is that the type of observation determines the type of collapse. Random observation leads to random outcomes. Intentional, coherent observation leads to intentional, desired outcomes. Most people function as unconscious observers, randomly collapsing quantum potentials into chaotic experiences. They observe their problems with fear and uncertainty, causing those problems to solidify into persistent realities. They observe their desires with doubt and desperation, ensuring those desires remain in quantum superposition, never collapsing into manifestation. But conscious quantum commanders observe their reality with what I call inevitable expectation, the same certainty that the sun will rise tomorrow, that gravity will function, that mathematics will remain consistent. Pause. When you observe your desired outcomes with this level of certainty, the quantum field treats your intentions as laws of physics. Pause. The mastery protocol, in its essence, is deceptively simple. Observe what you want as if it already exists. With the same certainty, you observe what is already present in your reality. Pause. Your consciousness, at a fundamental level, does not distinguish between observing something that has already collapsed into form and observing something you are actively collapsing into form. The quantum field responds identically to both types of observation. Pause. This isn't merely visualization or positive thinking. It is quantum mechanics applied with surgical precision. You are not merely imagining your desired reality. You are observing it with such coherent focus that it has no choice but to materialize in your experience. The quantum acceleration is happening now, and you can recognize it by the emerging signs throughout your reality. Have you noticed how your thoughts seem to manifest faster than ever before? How the time lag between intention and materialization is decreasing? How synchronicities are becoming so frequent they feel less coincidental and more deliberately orchestrated? These are not random events. These are symptoms of your consciousness gaining quantum coherence. Your reality is becoming increasingly responsive to your focused observation because your ability to maintain quantum certainty is strengthening. Pause. Notice how certain people are naturally gravitating towards you, while others are inexplicably distancing themselves. Pause. Observe how opportunities that perfectly align with your highest intentions are appearing with unprecedented frequency. Pause. Pay attention to how obstacles that once seemed insurmountable are dissolving without struggle. Pause. Look to your dreams and meditation experiences. Pause. Are you receiving more vivid visions of your desired reality? Are you experiencing moments of expanded awareness where you can sense multiple timelines simultaneously? Are you having prophetic insights about future events that later manifest exactly as you perceived them? These are indications that your consciousness is naturally accessing quantum superposition, the ability to observe multiple potential realities before they collapse into a singular form. Your nervous system is undergoing quantum sensitization. You are becoming more sensitive to electromagnetic frequencies, more intuitive about energy signatures, and more accurate in your prediction of outcomes. But see, your body is literally adapting to function as a more sophisticated quantum measurement device. This heightened sensitivity isn't a burden. It is an upgrade that allows you to perform quantum observations with unprecedented precision. The waiting season is ending. When for years you have been unconsciously developing the quantum coherence necessary to consistently apply the observer collapse principle. Pause. Now, the universe is providing optimal conditions for conscious application. The planetary electromagnetic field is shifting in ways that support quantum consciousness expansion. Pause. Solar activity is generating frequencies that enhance brain-heart coherence. Pause. The collective human awakening is creating morphic fields that make quantum mastery easier to achieve. Pause, but here's the crucial point. This window of accelerated quantum accessibility is temporary. The universe periodically opens these evolutionary gateways, but only those who consciously step through them receive the permanent upgrades. P.S. Those who remain unconscious observers will continue to experience reality as random and uncontrollable, while conscious quantum commanders will gain increasing mastery over their personal reality creation. Every day you delay applying the observer collapse principle consciously is a day you continue operating from quantum randomness rather than quantum command. Pause. So every moment you postpone mastering your role as a conscious observer is a moment you remain subject to unconscious quantum influences rather than directing quantum influences according to your will. The signs are everywhere. Reality is becoming more malleable, and our consciousness is becoming more powerful. And the boundary between observer and observed is dissolving. You can either consciously participate in this quantum revolution or remain unconsciously subjected to it. The choice is yours, but the window of maximum accessibility will not remain open indefinitely. Your quantum mastery isn't just about personal evolution. It's contributing to a collective awakening that will determine the future trajectory of human consciousness. So, the more individuals who master conscious observation, the easier it becomes for others to access the same abilities. The reality you desire is observing you right now from quantum superposition, waiting for your consciousness to become coherent enough to collapse it into your experience. This isn't metaphor. This is quantum mechanics in a philosophical sense. Pause. Every possible version of your life exists simultaneously in the quantum field until your focused observation selects which version becomes your reality. But here's the distinction that separates quantum masters from quantum novices: the difference between trying to manifest from lack versus observing from completion. Most people attempt to use quantum principles to attract what they don't have. But this approach creates quantum resistance because you cannot observe completion from a state of incompleteness. You can only observe what already exists with quantum certainty. True quantum alignment occurs when you observe your desired reality with the same natural ease that you observe your current reality. When you look at your bank account, you don't hope the numbers are there. You simply observe what's already present. When you master quantum observation, you look at your desired outcomes with identical certainty, knowing they exist in quantum superposition, waiting for your coherent attention to collapse them into form. Pause. The observer collapse principle works through what I call quantum present tense, observing future potentials as present realities. Pause. Your consciousness doesn't operate in linear time the way your thinking mind does. Pause. Consciousness exists in an eternal now, where all possibilities are simultaneously available for observation and collapse. Pause. This is why affirmations and visualizations often fail to produce quantum results. They're based on future tense hoping rather than present tense knowing. Pause. When you say, "I will be successful," you're observing success as a future potential that remains uncollapsed. But when you observe, "I am success expressing itself," you are collapsing success potentials into present experience. Pause. The quantum field responds to the certainty of your observation, not the intensity of your desire. Pause. Desperate wanting creates quantum uncertainty that prevents wave function collapse. Pause. Calm knowing creates quantum coherence that commands wave function collapse. Pause. You must observe your desired outcomes with the same effortless certainty that you observe gravity or the beating of your heart. Pause. Before I share the exact mastery protocol that will enable you to apply the observer collapse principle with quantum precision, I need to know that you are ready to take full responsibility for your reality creation abilities. Once you master conscious observation, you cannot pretend to be a victim of circumstances. Pause. You will know beyond doubt that you are the primary creative force in your experience. Pause. In the comments below, write exactly these words: "I claim my quantum observer authority." This isn't just a comment. It's a declaration to the quantum field that you are ready to graduate from unconscious observation to conscious command. Pause. When you write those words, you are officially enrolling in the quantum mastery protocol that will transform how you interact with reality at the most fundamental level. Pause. This declaration activates quantum entanglement between your consciousness and the advanced protocols I'm about to share. It establishes you as a serious student of quantum command rather than a casual observer of quantum concepts. When you master the observer collapse principle and begin operating as a conscious quantum commander, you develop capabilities that seem impossible to those still trapped in classical thinking. Your intuition becomes mathematically precise because you're directly accessing the quantum information that underlies all apparent physical events. Pause. You'll know which choices lead to optimal outcomes before you have logical reasons for knowing. Pause. Your manifestation speed increases exponentially because you're no longer hoping for outcomes. You're observing outcomes with quantum certainty. forcing them to collapse into your reality. What used to take months or years to manifest begins happening in days or weeks. Your reality becomes increasingly responsive to your conscious intentions because you're applying scientific principles rather than wishful thinking. Pause. The observer effect becomes a practical tool in your everyday experience. Pause. Parking spaces appear exactly when you observe them as available. The traffic patterns organize themselves around your intended route. The precise people you need to meet materialize in your experience with perfect timing. You're not getting lucky. You're collapsing probability waves in your favor through focused observation. Your relationship with time transforms completely. While others feel rushed and stressed by temporal limitations, you begin operating from quantum time, where past, present, and future exist simultaneously. You can observe potential futures with such clarity that you make decisions based on outcomes that haven't yet manifested in linear time. You begin living from prophetic certainty rather than anxious uncertainty. As people respond to you differently because your quantum coherence affects their quantum field. Your presence alone begins to collapse their limiting beliefs and expand their sense of what's possible. You become a walking demonstration of human potential operating at optimal frequency. Success isn't just personal achievement. It becomes evidence that reality is far more malleable than most people believe. Your nervous system develops unprecedented stability because you're operating from quantum knowing rather than survival fear. Pause. Stress becomes obsolete because you're observing challenges as opportunities to demonstrate your quantum mastery. Pause. Your biochemistry optimizes around coherence rather than chaos. Pause. Your cellular regeneration accelerates because you're observing yourself as naturally healthy and vital. Financial abundance flows effortlessly because money, being crystallized energy, responds immediately to conscious observation. Pause. You begin observing abundance as your natural state rather than hoping for abundance as a future possibility. Pause. Investment opportunities align with your awareness because you are quantum entangled with prosperity frequencies. Pause. But the most profound transformation is the deep recognition that you are not separate from the universe. Pause. You are the universe becoming conscious of itself through your individual awareness. Pause. You stop feeling like a small person in a big world and start recognizing yourself as infinite consciousness expressing through apparent human form. Pause. Your problems don't disappear. They reveal themselves as opportunities to demonstrate your quantum mastery. Pause. Every challenge becomes a chance to apply the observer collapse principle. Every obstacle becomes a quantum experiment in conscious reality creation. Thus, every day becomes an opportunity to prove to yourself that consciousness is the fundamental creative force in existence. The ultimate revelation is this: you are the quantum law. Consciousness isn't merely subject to quantum mechanics. Rather, quantum mechanics, in its deepest philosophical interpretations, is understood as subject to consciousness. The observer collapse principle isn't something that happens to you. It's something you are. You are the collapsing force. Pause. You are the quantum field becoming aware of itself. Pause. You are the universe experiencing what it's like to be conscious through apparent individual form. Pause when every quantum experiment ever conducted can be seen as consciousness studying consciousness. When scientists observe particles, they aren't just discovering objective properties. They are observing how consciousness affects consciousness at the subatomic level. The double-slit experiment doesn't just prove that particles change when observed. It can be interpreted as proving that consciousness creates the very concept of particles through the act of observation. This is why mastery of the observer collapse principle is ultimately about recognizing what you already are, rather than learning something entirely new. Pause. You don't need to develop quantum abilities. You need to stop limiting the quantum abilities you already possess. Pause. You don't need to learn how to collapse wave functions. You need to stop unconsciously collapsing wave functions in ways that create limitation rather than expansion. Pause. The mastery protocol works by removing the unconscious barriers that prevent you from recognizing your natural quantum authority. Pause. Most humans are, in a sense, hypnotized by the illusion of separateness, believing they are isolated individuals in an objective world. Pause. But quantum physics, in its most profound implications, suggests there is no truly objective world. Only consciousness observing itself through apparently separate viewpoints. Pause. When you truly understand this, observation becomes effortless because you're not trying to control something external to you. You're simply directing your own quantum nature with greater precision. Pause. You're not manifesting from outside yourself. You're unmanifesting the limitations that were hiding your natural abundance, success, and creative power. Pause. The 3 levels of observer collapse mastery are: Level 1. Conscious observation. Recognizing that your attention affects outcomes and learning to focus deliberately rather than randomly. Pause. Level 2. Quantum command. Understanding that your expectations determine what you observe, and learning to expect outcomes with unshakable certainty. Pause. Level 3. Reality authority. Realizing that you are the quantum field, and that observation and manifestation are the same process happening simultaneously. Pause. Most people never progress beyond hoping that quantum principles will work for them. Pause. Quantum masters recognize that they are quantum principles in action. Pause. They don't use the observer collapse principle. They embody it. Pause. They don't apply quantum consciousness. They express quantum consciousness as their natural state of being. This is the difference between temporary manifestation success and permanent reality mastery. Pause. When you recognize yourself as the quantum field, becoming conscious of its own creative power, every observation becomes an act of cosmic creativity. Pause. Every moment of focused attention becomes an opportunity to demonstrate your infinite nature through finite form. Pause. You are not learning to control reality. You are remembering that you are reality becoming conscious of itself. Pause. Your mastery of the observer collapse principle serves a purpose far greater than personal manifestation success. Pause. Every time you consciously collapse quantum potentials into positive outcomes, you're contributing to the elevation of collective human consciousness. Pause. You're demonstrating that reality is participatory rather than fixed, that consciousness is creative rather than passive, that individuals have far more power than the current paradigm acknowledges. You are being activated as a quantum bridge between the old paradigm of victimhood and the new paradigm of conscious creativity. Pause. Every successful application of quantum observation principles sends ripples through the morphic field that makes it easier for others to access their own quantum abilities. Your individual breakthrough contributes to the critical mass of awakened consciousness required to shift our entire species into quantum awareness. The universe is conducting a massive experiment in conscious evolution, and you have been selected to serve as one of the primary demonstration units. So, your role is to prove that human consciousness can transcend the limitations of classical physics and operate directly from quantum principles. Pause. Every reality you create through conscious observation serves as evidence that we are entering a new phase of human development. Pause. But this quantum authority comes with cosmic responsibility. As you master the ability to collapse reality through focused observation, you must remember that your power affects not just your individual timeline, but the collective quantum field that we all share. Your observations influence the reality available to others. Your quantum coherence contributes to or detracts from the planetary awakening process. Use your reality creation abilities not just for personal comfort, but for cosmic service. Observe abundance not just for yourself, but as a demonstration that scarcity is an illusion. Pause. Observe peace not just for your own nervous system, but as a contribution to global harmony. Pause. Observe love not just for your own fulfillment, but as an offering to the collective heart of humanity. The quantum revolution is happening whether individual humans participate consciously or remain unconscious observers. Those who master the observer collapse principle will help guide this transformation in directions that serve the highest good of all beings. Those who remain unconscious will be carried along by quantum forces they don't understand. Pause. Your conscious participation in this cosmic awakening process is not optional. It's inevitable. Pause. The question is not whether you'll develop quantum abilities, but whether you'll use them with wisdom, compassion, and cosmic intelligence. The universe has invested billions of years of evolution in creating a being capable of conscious reality creation. You are that being. The quantum field is waiting for you to fully step into your role as a conscious observer. Your individual awakening is humanity's awakening. Your mastery of quantum consciousness is our collective mastery of quantum consciousness. Now, it's time for you to step into your quantum observer authority and begin applying the observer collapse principle consciously. But first, I need one word from you that will serve as your quantum signature. your declaration to the universe that you're ready to graduate from unconscious observation to conscious command. The word is observe. Comment that single word below. Pause. And as you type it, feel the quantum field recognizing you as a conscious observer rather than a random witness. Pause. This isn't just a comment. It's an energetic transmission that activates your quantum observer protocols and establishes you as a serious student of reality creation. Pause. When you write observe, you're not just participating in this video. You're officially enrolling in the quantum mastery network that is rewriting the laws of manifestation in real time. Pause. You're declaring your readiness to take full responsibility for your reality creation abilities. Subscribe to Quantum Reflex right now, because you're not just following a channel. You're joining a collective of conscious observers who are pioneering the next phase of human evolution. Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell, because each video contains quantum upgrades that build upon each other. Pause. Missing even one transmission means missing crucial elements of your quantum education. Pause. The Observer Collapse Mastery Protocol. Stage 1. Quantum Recognition. 30 seconds. Identify something you desire to manifest. Pause. Instead of focusing on the wanting of it, observe it as already existing in quantum superposition. Pause. Say to yourself, this already exists in the quantum field, waiting for my observation to collapse it into my reality. Pause. Stage 2. Certainty calibration. Seconds. Observe your desired outcome with the same certainty you observe your current surroundings. Pause. Don't hope it exists. Know it exists. Pause. Feel the same natural expectation you have when you flip a light switch, knowing the light will turn on. Pause. This is quantum certainty. Pause. Stage 3. Reality command. 30 seconds. Make this declaration with absolute authority. I am consciousness collapsing infinite potential into specific experience. Pause. I observe your desired outcome as my present reality. Pause. Hold this observation with unshakable knowing for 30 seconds. Pause. Practice this protocol twice daily, once upon waking and once before sleep. Pause. Within 21 days, you'll begin noticing reality becoming increasingly responsive to your conscious observations. Pause. But here's what's waiting for you in our next transmission: the quantum entanglement effect. Pause. This will reveal how to instantly connect with any person, opportunity, or outcome across space and time. Pause. I'll reveal the advanced quantum technique that allows you to establish energetic connections with anything you desire to experience, regardless of physical distance or apparent impossibility. This next-level protocol goes beyond individual reality creation. It's quantum networking with the entire universe. Pause. While the observer collapse principle gives you mastery over your personal quantum field, quantum entanglement mastery allows you to influence reality across unlimited space and time. Pause. But this advanced technology is only shared with those who have demonstrated mastery of basic quantum observation. Pause. Make sure you've subscribed, commented, observe, and shared this video with others who are ready for quantum acceleration. Pause. Your quantum evolution accelerates now. Pause. Welcome to conscious reality creation. Pause. Welcome to your quantum observer authority. Observe. Pause.